Hey, I was thinking about something the other day, right? And I was thinking about, and this kind of might sound a little too, might sound like I'm fucking high and shit, right? But like our children, right? Our children really don't even really belong to us. Like, sure, we're responsible for them, right? But we always want to, influence our kids for the better, right? Like that's how we think, right? But the reality of it is that our kids, my kids, are your kids. They're your responsibility too. As men, like your kids, your boys, are my responsibility. Because oftentimes, our own fathers are probably one of the reasons why we either choose to not do X thing, because they have their own influences. They have their own idols. They have their own people they look up to. Myself included. Like I'm a father of a 22-year-old man, and I have set a terrible example for him in my younger days. So, does he respect me? We've always had a great relationship, but at the same time, I cannot influence him into working out, into personally growing more than I think that somebody else might influence him that he actually looks up to, right? And that's just the way it works. That's why when we talk about us all being connected, it's true. You know what I'm saying? So like one day, the homie Big Tone, shout out to Big Tone, he had posted a video of AWACS doing push-ups. And I was like, damn, that'd be fucking dope if AWACS was to lock the fuck in and just, get to working out. I was like, why do I say that? Because I know my son looks up to him. My son loves AWACS. So there's a lot of power in that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by our children don't belong to us. I mean that in the sense that yes, they are ours. We are ultimately responsible for them. But you guys all have influence over one another's kids. Like today, I was working out with one of my good friends' son. And it's he didn't gravitate towards me personally, but he gravitated towards wanting to work out. So I took him under my wing, and I showed him a little bit of the basics, and that's the way it works, man. So you really do a huge justice for the youth by just leveling up and actually locking in and being some kind of presentable person. You know what I'm saying? Like just being a presentable, respectful man, because you never know whose kid you might impact. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, like my little nephew, the one you guys seen in that last couple of posts, his dad's in prison. His dad's in prison, probably won't ever see the light of day. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't necessarily crash out in his early days. That's why I was saying a long time ago that you're not too old for life never too old for life to come through and just humble you. He was going through trial at the age of 33, and ended up where he's at now. And now it's like, look at me, Mike, we're influencing him, we're impacting him, we're raising him up, or whatever, right? Like, yeah, that might be his kid, but he belongs to all the men that he comes in contact with. You get what I'm trying to say about this, man? Because that's just, honestly, if you really want to be impactful in this world and move in the purpose that we're talking about, and what I'm saying about in purpose, put yourself to the side and do the necessary steps to be impactful so that you can actually guide this little fat boy kid and actually teach him how to get to where he needs to be. You want to set the example. And I'm not talking about fat boy kid like my nephew's not fat. I'm talking about just in general. These kids that need help and they're inheriting all these bad habits from their parents, and they're needing somebody else to help them. Well, you'll have the tools. You'll have the tools to help kids if they so need it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, it's like that. It's my nephew too, man. That day that we were working out, I don't show him any favoritism. I don't wipe his nose for him. I don't push him to work out. I just set the example. And he always would talk about my uncle, he talks about, his aunt had told me that he always talks about my gym and how he wants to work out. And of course, I extended the invite a few times, but at the same time, I can't force anybody except be the example, right? That makes more sense, right? So these last few weeks, him being at the gym that one day was all from his own initiative. I didn't even give any special invite. He just happened to be there because he was drawn to be there. He wanted to be there. And like I said, I don't give him no favoritism. You know, he came up to me when we were doing the buzz down and he was like, "Hey Theo, can I be done? I'm tired." I'm like, "Fuck no. Get your ass back in that line." And he was right there. If you see one of those videos that the homie Marquez chopped up, he was dying, but he felt great afterwards. You know what I mean? Like that's the structure that we need to put on kids. You know what I'm saying? Like you speak from a whole different level of authority as a parent when you yourself are doing the actual work that you are actually asking them to do. Like, how hypocritical is that when you want your own damn kid to do something, but yet you don't want to do it? Like, oh, this is better for you, it's good for you, you're young, whatever. Like, no, you should set the example. You know what I mean? That's a mistake that I myself have to live with because my son's already 22 years old. I had him as a young man. But this is what I mean. Like, that's why I was going back to what I was saying about like how that I was in hopes that he would get in shape because I know how much that would impact my son, how much it would influence my son. And this is just the way my mindset thinks. So when I'm saying about moving in purpose, I'm not just doing it for my own kids. I'm not just doing it for mine. I'm doing it for yours. I'm doing it for everybody's kid that I come in contact with. My other nephew, Drew, you know, I've been working with him and trying to breed him up to be a cameraman so he could be a part of the team. You know what I mean? I'm helping him with his page. You know, his dad is nowhere near around right now. And, you know, hey, again, he's my responsibility. That's the way I see it. You know what I'm saying? So, again, when we're moving in purpose, think a little deeper. Don't just regurgitate the shit. Really, really apply it.